I just want to give the guys who don't know us an overview of what 3D Repo is, what it does, and then a bit of an overview of what we're working on at the moment, what we've got coming in the future in terms of innovations. So 3D Repo, at the heart of it, is essentially a database. It sits in the cloud. We break down your models into very small parts. The advantages of that are twofold. One, that we can then visualize very large models in the web browser, which I'll show you a bit of. And secondly, that we can do some really cool stuff with analytics, not just across your one project, but across multiple projects. It's all sitting in a database. Once it's in that database, we can serve it up in various forms. One way is through the web browser, which is our collaboration platform to integrate together different sources of data. The second way is through dynamic VR, which means that we can load assets on the fly into a Unity application. So most VR applications are set applications where you have some assets, you have one project, and if you want another project, you build another VR situation. With ours, we reuse that data and put new projects into the same functionality. So I've got lots of videos, which is kind of scary with what's gone on so far, but this is the collaboration platform. Essentially, it gives a single source of truth for the project team, so they can upload various models, collaborate, create issues, share them back to their authoring tools via BCF. It also acts as a revision management system, so it always shows the latest version, so that everyone on the project teams knows that we're looking at the latest version, we're collaborating on the latest version, and we can set the issues up in the right way. And just to prove we don't just do buildings, we also concentrate on merging the worlds of GIS and BIM. So here we've brought together GIS information and a scale city model of the city of Hull, and then we're doing the A63 improvements. You know, look at this video. But it means that we can bring lots of sources of data. We also brought information from PDS by Causeway for road signs, and we can show different options. So this is the VR application. This is for Balfour Beatty and Crossrail, and the idea is it's a health and safety application. So we load it again from the cloud, and when the guys get too close to the apparatus, suddenly we're in the red zone and people know. So it's a health and safety training application, and the beauty of it is that we can load any different model into this. So if we have a different situation or the model updates, we move on to the next phase of the project. We don't have to recreate a VR solution. We just load the next version in, and the same functionality is there. So essentially, we federate models together in the cloud, and we manage data in order to give a simpler process for sharing and reuse. And just to prove that we're not kind of just making this up off the top of our head and trying to serve you up with some technology, that's actually from the BIM Level 3. It's not actually a description of what we do. It's from Digital Built Britain, but it pretty well describes what we do and what we're aiming to do. So in terms of future developments, the first thing that we're looking at initially is issue analytics, so trying to give some insight into how the project's performing, how different consultants are performing, what issues could come up. So we'll provide a dashboard with various graphs showing how each consultant's performing. In terms of the actual experience online, we're merging everything into Unity. So at the moment, we have VR in Unity. We're going to put Unity on the web, so we'll be the first professional application that we know of to do that and be able to hot swap assets again on the fly. So it would mean we can have larger models. This is a prototype that we've got running. I'm going to skip off it pretty quick. But it just means that we can hot swap things a lot quicker. And in the future, what it means is that we can do streaming. So this is streaming running in our current situation. It won't scale to bigger models, but with Unity it will. And it means that we can have infinitely large models streamed from the cloud to your web browser without having to worry about model size getting too big. So you can see the functionality here. As you turn around, everything's getting chucked out of the memory, and as we turn back around, it loads it back in. Not fast enough in the current system, but Unity will help us be able to do that, and we can get to that infinitely large model dream. Coming very soon, we've got 3D Diff, which means that we can bring together different models, different versions, and show what's changed very quickly. So currently, you can do that in a lot of systems using IFC. It's very computationally heavy, and it doesn't work if you do round tripping. This is done completely on what you see on the screen, so it quickly shows you what has been deleted and what's been added. The inverse of this will also show clash detection if we have two models from different disciplines as well. And finally, the really exciting thing, and something that we've been talking to IBM about recently, is BIM forensics, which is essentially model checking for online. And we've got three ways that we're looking at doing this. Firstly is using a command line to the database, which I know is really geeky and most people won't want to do it. But you can actually code in and write your own queries through Python queries in the command line. We can then port that to things like Dynamo and Grasshopper, which are a lot more accessible to the construction industry. Also looking at Node-RED from IBM, which can do essentially the same thing from an open source standpoint. And then eventually all of that, hopefully we can feed back to Watson and give a plain language way of querying the database, which we think is key as well, especially on construction sites. The beauty of being able to have, once we can have infinitely large models on an iPad, being able to ask Watson questions, literally how many windows are in my project, what's changed, this sort of thing. So it's a really exciting project that we've got going there. And that's me, and you can sign up for free at 3drepo.org for a free account.